welcome back to another video. And thank you for painting along with me, and hope you have tried some of those projects we've been painting together this month. So yeah, if you actually, try anything, feel free to tag me and post it on Instagram or Facebook. I would love to have a look. However, today we're not gonna do more painting. In fact, we're gonna have a little break, but have a bit of self-reflection moment on, watercolor and about life. So yeah, mainly today I want to share with you mainly 3 big life lessons I have learned from daily watercolor painting. Yeah. So number 1 is how to fail. I guess some people consider watercolor is one of the hardest medium to paint, because in order to learn, you will definitely fail. In order to build a relationship with water and watercolor, how much water and how much paint to use, you definitely fail. But then, yeah, if anything, I find that's probably the only way to learn. Even you fail, that doesn't mean you're bad at it. That never means you never learn. And I find sometimes there's so much focus on how to be successful, how to learn something quickly, why it's a shortcut and things like that. But I actually really would love to highlight the attitude of how to fail. And in fact, I encourage, I think that should be taught more, just to know that although you will fail, although your painting might look terrible to begin with, might look like, you're not just getting it, maybe you are convinced watercolor is not for you, and it's not learning anything in life, yeah? But if you know that even you fail this time, as long as you're willing to try again, as long as you have learned something from the process, you realize where you made a mistake and try to, learn something from it next time. It's not a real failure. It's really just part of the learning process. So that's definitely something I learned a lot from watercolor painting, and I apply it to my life. So next time, when I try something new, and I kind of feel like, oh, okay, I fail, I don't let it affect me too much, and I find it quite useful, so share it with you. And number 2, the life lesson I learned from watercolor is, and I am sure you heard that from every teacher, is how to let go of full control, trust the process, and trust, the result will just, happen naturally. Yeah, I kind of think that's also quite useful in real life as well. So many times, we get up each day, we just hope that, everything will work well each day. We don't want to have a bad day. We want every day to be a good day, but simply it's just not possible. So yeah, and I guess, it's just so much about focusing on things what you have control over with, and let go of control of things you don't have control over with. For instance, like the weather. So yeah, and I find just if you are okay with letting go of the desire to have full control over everything, that's when you can actually start to take a risk, when you feel comfortable to get out of your comfort zone, when you can actually play a bit. I know, a lot of teachers will say, when it comes to watercolor, you just play a bit. And then when I started, I'll be like, it didn't feel like a play, it's just because my painting looked terrible and I can't play because, I don't play well because apparently the result is bad. But then it is true, you do need to kind of play with the water. Even sometimes you feel like you're drowning. That's part of the learning process. And that's actually, even sometimes you look at your painting and be like, oh my goodness, that actually looks terrible. But if you can laugh at it, laugh at your own mistakes, and then kind of think, you know what, I'm just here to play with the water. And then, okay, even use too much water, even I use a wrong color, and then somehow by accident I create a new color I never expected to see on my paper. So that's why I mean about, you know, if you feel comfortable, I'm just not gonna have the control over everything. And guess what? Maybe I'll actually end up, you know, creating some sort of new plate. I never expect that, oh, that's the way I can do it. But yeah, I find, you know, that definitely also applies to my own everyday life as well. Now I'm just kind of a lot more relaxed ever since I started watercolor, knowing that, you know, a failure is just part of the process. And then, you know, you really are here to play. And once you can tell yourself that, once you have that mindset shift, you know, you actually just feel so much more relaxed and you can actually have fun. What kind of nice change is that? And then number 3 is also, I think, an important one. It's about self-competition. And this one is definitely applies to people, you know, who are kind of non-beginners, because as a beginner, you kind of like, oh, you know, I'm not very good. But then once you've been, like, say, you've been painting for a while and you kind of, you know, you have a few successful paintings and you sort of have this expectation that, oh, so every time I paint, I'm expecting to create something good. You know, you're kind of having the expectation on the result, like, oh, I want it to be good every single time. But any professional painters will tell you, again, it doesn't work like that, yeah? Just because you know how to do it, just because you have done some good pieces of work, it simply doesn't happen every single time. Sometimes you will still make a mistake that you made many times, and you will make a mistake that you kind of, you know better. You shouldn't have made that mistake, but you do. And again, that's also so true about life. As I say, you know, Michael Jordan, you know, he is considered one of the best in basketball, but does he win every single time? No. But then does he let that stop you? No. So I think, you know, for me it's the same thing. There was a time after I've been, you know, painting for a while, and I got a few paintings I'm quite proud of, and I just kind of hit a wall. I've been painting and painting again every day, and I'm just you know, how come I can never create something that I was proud of? And I just kind of keep hitting the wall. And then guess what? You might do that for another month or two, and you realize that's just sort of the way it is. And it's like, you know, waiting the perfect wave. It just doesn't happen every single day. So yeah, and also I find, you know, the whole self-competition thing. And I can understand why some best-selling novel, you know, or writers, and they, once, you know, they became the best, it kind of sometimes hinders them to try again, because they kind of think, oh, just because, you know, I reached the high and that every time I go, I need to get there again. Don't let that stop you, yeah? So that's definitely what I told myself, you know. And then so, you know, I don't paint something I like every day, but I still show up every day. So I think, yeah, those many 3 lessons really telling us, focus on what you have control over with, and let go of the control of things that, you know, you just have to kind of go with the flow. So the one thing we have control over with is definitely showing up every day, do the painting every day, but then the rest, let the water and the watercolor do part of the work and see what the result is like. And willing, you know, feel comfortable to get out of your comfort zone a bit, take some risks, play a bit, you know, just because, you know, yesterday was a successful painting, today is not, well, I guess that's the case, and let's try again the next day and see what happens. So these are the mainly 3 top lessons I learned from life, you know, my watercolor painting, and I feel I can apply to my everyday life as well. And the last thing I like to actually throw you a bonus one. The bonus one is actually called leaving some white space. Again, I'm sure including me and all your teachers tell you the same thing. When it comes to watercolor, it's very important to leave a white space. And how do we apply this to our own everyday life? I think, you know, just so bombarded with so many things, like so many things to do on your to-do list. You think, oh, I'm just so busy, I don't have time to paint and whatever. But the truth is actually really important to leave some white space, meaning just leave some time in your life, you know, in your everyday routine. Just have, you know, maybe half an hour, even just 10 minutes, that there's no agenda, there's no to-do list, there's no I should do this, I should go there, and things like that. And then you'll be like, oh, but I'm just so busy, there's no way, you know, I have some blank space. And then just think about, say you have so many things on your to-do list, just pick the top 3 priorities and make sure you definitely cover those 3 top priorities. And then after that, you know, other stuff, if you get time to do it, that's wonderful. If not, try again the next day. Or you realize, oh, actually certain things, maybe I don't have to do it right now. Maybe I don't have to do it in person. Maybe, you know, something I don't have to buy it right away. In fact, probably I don't even really need it. So I think, you know, after ever since I have that attitude, I just feel so much better, really. And it's like, you know, all the white space we leave in the painting, you know, give yourself some free time to breathe a bit, so that you have the chance to do, you know, kind of maybe your own meditative practice, your own mindful practice. And then as a result, you know, focus on things that will help you to get into a flow state. And for me, that's watercolor, yeah? So yeah, I think the whole white space, not just on your piece of paper, but also in your everyday life. Give yourself some free time. Just be a bit bored. That's even okay, you know, because that's a moment that gives you some new ideas. So there you have it. And then I'd like to say thank you again for spending your time with me and watching this video. So yeah, if you find anything relatable, or if you know you got some new life lessons you learn from watercolor that I haven't mentioned, please comment below. I would love to learn. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!